Road to the Winner's Circle is brought to you by Bear Nose Pizza. Yeah, it's that good.
We're back with more Road to the Winner's Circle. I'm Kimberly Greenwell here with Mike Gandolfo and Brian Dugan, and we got to talk to Mike Maker yesterday, who's a favorite local trainer here and always has a horse in the Derby just about. And his horse this year is not probably his favorite horse to have in the Derby, Fast and Accurate, because this is his first time on dirt.
Well, I was dogging the Sunland Derby, but I was also dogging the Spiral Stakes, and that's who Fast and Accurate came out of. Those were the two races before the 100-point races began. So you basically got the horses who were looking for points to get into the field before, but had no intention to run into a 100-point race. And that's what happened. Fast and Accurate won the Spiral Stakes out of Turfway and is in the race.
He's in the race and he's got a shot. You know, when you come off the synthetics that we have at Turfway, you know, a lot of players don't like that, how that transfers over, and that's why he's not getting much money, much support at the windows now. I think he might be the longest shot on the board. Interesting story with Fast and Accurate. Bodie Miller, he's out of Hanson, and Bodie really likes Hanson. Bodie Miller, the Olympics, the most prolific skier in American history, has bought an interest in this, and he'll be at the Derby.
Won a stakes race on Saturday on opening night.
He certainly did.
And then also, I'll tell you, Fast and Accurate will get bets because a lot of people just bet on the gray horse, and that's the gray horse.
They do. And the other thing that's interesting is that his jockey, Channing Hill, this is his first Kentucky Derby, so that's going to be a factor too. We'll hear what Mike Maker has to say right now. How is Fast and Accurate taken to the dirt?
Well, he's a pretty manageable horse. Looks like he handles it well to me.
And with the possibility of rain coming the next couple of days, how do you feel like a sloppy track will affect his run?
I'd prefer sloppy track, really.
Okay, great. And why would you prefer that?
We've had quite a bit of sloppy tracks lately, and he seems to really relish it.
Oh, that's good. And with Channing Hill, this is his third rider. And how do you think, why did you decide to switch jockeys?
Well, it wasn't totally our decision. Tyler Gaffalione decided to stick with Pletcher, and Channing rode the horse before, so we felt gave us our best chance.
Thank you so much to Mike Maker and his barn for giving us that interview today. It was really interesting to see what he had to say about the change mounts and the fact that the owner made that decision.
There you go. I also think it's kind of interesting. He's not training. He has been training here at Churchill Downs, but he's housed at Trackside, I believe. And what do you think about that daily drive back and forth on the trackside?
Well, you know, I would prefer to see him over here. We've got another horse that's over there now, Gervin, and he's been between there and Joe Sharp actually trains his horses over there, but he's been between there and Keeneland. So I'd prefer to see him get the workout over here because obviously that's where the race is going to be run. So,
you know, I agree. I mean, Gervin's been kind of the secret case. We've always talked about how Gervin, who is the #1 points leader in the road to the Kentucky Derby, is kind of disrespected a little bit. Now coming in not 100% on the health side.
Yeah, he's used a hyperbolic chamber. He's had some hoof issues. So, you know, none of the things you want to see coming into the Derby, but that kind of fits the mold for this year's Kentucky Derby. I mean, we've got a lot of different things going on.
This Kentucky Derby, the road to it has been so different than any other year. We usually have an early favorite. We didn't do that. All the favorites that we thought were going to hit did not hit the races they were supposed to hit. So, and now you have the weather, and until now, all the races have been perfect weather. And now you have rain on the track, but you don't think, Mike, that it's going to affect?
No, I think we're actually going to have a fast track on Saturday. This track handles rain so well, and if we have a break of more than 30 minutes, it's going to dry up, and we're going to have a fast track. It's not looking like we're going to have inches and inches of rain that's going to really affect it.
Kimberly brought up something. This is a different Derby. I tell you another thing that's different. Normally, the West Coast horses coming out of Santa Anita really taking a lot of play. Nyquist last year, you know, Chrome, Faro came from the West Coast through the Arkansas Derby. Gormley, who won the Santa Anita Derby, it really is the horse kind of under the radar. Great trainer. You win the Santa Anita Derby, that normally puts you pretty much in the top couple, at least for the Kentucky Derby, but not this year.
So Gormley, though, for me, the big issue is he doesn't seem to fit the body type of a Kentucky Derby winner. He's kind of a not as long of a horse. He's a little bit squattier, a little shorter. And looks like he would be really good at a shorter distance, but I just don't know if he can go a mile and a quarter.
Well, and he's like a lot of them. He had one bad race, but I mean, he's run good races, and he won the Santa Anita Derby.
Which is a huge race. But one horse that you and I both like as a long shot play, maybe a long shot play, he's going to be double-digit odds, is the horse that came in third in the Florida Derby, Gunnevera.
Yes, and Mike and I have spent a lot of time in the barn this week with Anthony Sono, and he was a very nice man, and he taught us how to pronounce the name, and it's Gunnevera.
And you guys haven't introduced me to him yet.
Well,
Yeah.
you always take off. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
whole
I've
problem.
interviewed
Now,
you.
he is a nice man, and Mike's even sporting the pin there. So,
That's right, got my Gunnevera pin
I
going
really
on.
like the horse coming in. If you haven't watched his races, he's a stone-cold closer. He's not going to even be in the picture, but at the top of the stretch, I expect him to make his move. This is a long stretch here at Churchill Downs. As we mentioned, 1.25 miles. I really look for him. He's started at 15-1. He's my money play for the week.
So we've mentioned American Pharoah. Do you think that we're going to have a Triple Crown winner this year? I just can't see it happening.
I don't. But the owner of Gunnevera told us he's going to win the Triple Crown. So bold statement there, but great story on the trainer too.
Absolutely.
Very nice connections, and I really think he's going to be a big player.
So if people don't know, Antonio Sanos from Venezuela actually escaped being kidnapped and held hostage for 36 days, chained to a bed, bag over his head, lost 50 pounds, and he's just appreciative of being here. And even though the connections of Gunnevera don't have a whole lot of experience, the jockey does.
Yes, you're right. And that's a big key with this race. And we've been monitoring the jockeys in and out. We got a chance to talk to Gary Stevens this week. He's still sitting on the outside with Royal Mo, but boy, we're so lucky right now to have so many quality Derby-winning jocks in the race and some on the fence. But and then we still got Calvin Burrell, who doesn't have a mount.
I was really surprised that he was not on a
I
horse
was too.
yet.
We actually got to talk to Calvin earlier in the week too, and he was confident he was going to get in the race and then didn't get in.
Hasn't happened yet.
One thing I want bettors to realize with Gunnevera, his third place in the Florida Derby might not be as bad as it looks, because horses that come from the far outside at Gulfstream Park with 2 turns very rarely are able to pull it off.
He was moving at the end, but as Kimberly noted with Always Dreaming, that horse was not going to lose the Florida Derby. If he runs back to that form, that's kind of been the best prep race in my opinion, the Florida Derby. So if he runs back to that form, Always Dreaming is going to be very difficult to catch. It's just really going to depend how the pace plays out.
So who are you guys betting?
Well, I'm gonna bet with my heart, and I'm gonna go with Gunnevera. I really like the way Gunnevera's been getting around that heart. I'm gonna definitely probably play him in some exotics as well. I think Gunnevera's gonna win this thing.
I like Gunnevera a lot. Mike and I are on the same page there. I also like Irish War Cry, but I can't leave Classic Empire and McCracken out.
Well, it's always dreaming for me, and this is a dream to be here with you. And thank you so much for joining us to Road to the Winner's Circle.
Road to the Winner's Circle is brought to you by Bear Nose Pizza. Yeah, it's that good.
Yeah, it's that good. Bear Nose Pizza. Good taste, happy face, your place, my place. What's gonna make you happy? It's the smile I see on your face. It's that good. Yes, it is, and we deliver it. Oh, oh, oh. Taste is fun. Yes, it is. We guarantee it. Yeah, it's that good. Bear Nose Pizza. Yeah, it's that good.
Being charged with a crime is serious business and requires sound legal advice. Whether you live in Kentucky or Indiana, call my office by dialing 84-GET-LEMMY and let me help.
Call 84 Get Lemmy.